Whiffy Newton in the Affair of the Fiendish Phantoms. Written by Rebecca Lim. Narrated by Rebecca Lim. Copyright Rebecca Lim. 2022. Chapter 1. Who was Charles William Beebe? Paz had just asked that impossible question. Whiffy almost spat out the chips he was snorkeling through in disgust. "Are you kidding me?" he growled. Paz Colon, real first name Pasquale, and Whiffy Newton, real first name Alfred, were lying on their stomachs in Paz's room, glaring at each other tensely over the game board. Paz had already collected all his colourful wedgie things to Whiffy's one. Only this question stood between Paz and the race for the finish line in the deadly high-stakes game of Trivial Pursuit they were playing. "Have a guess," said Paz, trying hard not to grin. Whiffy would never get this. Even Paz wasn't sure if he knew the answer. He flipped the card over and shook his head. Yup, impossible. Still, Whiffy had a red-hot go. "Something to do with, tonsils," he bluffed. Paz scooped up the dice happily, saying, "American scientist, 1877 to 1962, inventor of the bathysphere, a kind of submersible diving chamber thingy. I feel another win coming on." As luck would have it, he roared into the winner's circle with his next roll. "Hit me," said Paz delightedly. "Don't tempt me," Whiffy snorted, selecting a card and studying the questions. He began to beam. "What are the four main rivers of the Democratic Republic of Madagascar?" Whiffy asked with a flourish, reaching for more chips. Paz's pale blue eyes began to gleam with arcane knowledge. "The Mangoki, Betsiboka, Onolahi, and Siribahina rivers," he said jubilantly as Whiffy's mouth fell open, displaying disgusting bits of mashed-up chip inside. "It's your turn to dry all the dishes," and Paz got up and victory danced all around the room while Whiffy did what he did best when he wasn't entirely happy about something. He ate. Whiffy had been staying at Paz's place for the weekend while his dad, Dr. Bruce Newton, inventing genius, was at some obscure conference on quantum chromodynamics, don't ask, for particle physicists, scientists who are into particles smaller than atoms, and yes, there really are people like that. This suited Whiffy just fine, because 3 times a day he got 3 excellent meals. For instance, on Friday he had panda yuca for breakfast, frituras for lunch, and arepas di chocolo y carne en polvo for dinner. Not to mention several outstanding snacks a day, including, but not limited to, chips. The food situation had pretty much continued in this marvellous vein until Sunday afternoon, when Whiffy began repacking his dingy sports bag. He quailed at the thought of what awaited him at home for dinner. At best, he might expect a takeaway meal from Dial-A Dinner, purveyors of fine cuisine in your local area, free delivery for orders over $15. At worst, spag bowl, tuna mornay, or roast lamb. The only 3 things in the world, besides fish paste or jam sandwiches, that his dad, a single parent since the tragic loss of his wife Marlies, knew how to make. As Whiffy got out of Paz's dad's car outside Chez Newton, the exceedingly messy home Whiffy shared with his dad, even Paz's dad, Pedro, was wondering what sort of diabolical meal Whiffy's father was whipping up inside the kitchen. Whiffy thanked Mr. Colon politely for a lovely and highly informative weekend, waving as they drove away with a toot. He opened the front door at the same time his dad came up the hallway in his best clothes, a tweed sports coat with leather elbow patches, possibly purchased around the time dinosaurs last roamed the earth, a phlegm yellow business shirt, and a coordinating pair of navy pants, gone slightly shiny from excessive stain removal. Dr. Newton had just gotten home himself. "My paper went down a treat," he said, catching sight of Whiffy letting himself in. "Fielded so many questions afterwards, I felt like a celebrity, and that's not a feeling a part-time particle physicist feels every day. Put your things away and we'll catch up over tea. I feel like celebrating. We don't get out enough." The Newtons got into their ancient brown Ford Escort and went in search of dinner. "There's only so much roast lamb
Sample complete. Ready to continue?